abandoned aggressive ship at a galactic auction. One human repair changed everything. The main hall was enormous, stretching higher than any city skyscraper. Holographic displays floated above every corner, showing ships in orbit, historical artifacts, and flashing bids from buyers scattered across different star systems. Aliens of every shape and size wandered among the stalls, their voices and gestures a mixture of excitement, greed, and curiosity. Elias Vance moved through the crowd with quiet determination. He was a human engineer, small in stature but large in reputation among the few humans who knew him. Most of the galaxy, however, had never heard of him. He didn't need fame. He needed opportunities, chances to prove that human ingenuity could still shine in a universe that had long forgotten it. His eyes scanned the auction floor. Sleek alien ships, shimmering with exotic metals, attracted massive bids. Advanced weapon prototypes drew crowds of speculators, but Elias' attention was drawn to something different, a massive, derelict ship tucked away at the far end of the hall. It had no bidders. No one even paused to glance at it. The ship was enormous, a war cruiser of a class that was infamous in old galactic conflicts. Its hull was scarred, panels missing, and it exuded a quiet menace that made nearby bidders uncomfortable. The sign beside it read, "Not recommended." Most buyers hurried past, whispering rumors of the ship's violent past. Some said its AI had gone rogue. Others claimed it had been part of an ancient human fleet lost in the outer sectors. Whatever the truth, no one wanted to touch it. Elias smiled. Where others saw danger, he saw opportunity. His heart quickened. This was not just a ship. It was a puzzle, a challenge, and maybe even a key to proving that humans still mattered in a galaxy dominated by alien empires. He approached the auction manager, a tall, insectoid creature with shimmering green eyes. "How much?" Elias asked, keeping his voice steady. The manager clicked his mandibles. "Almost nothing. No one wants it. You can have it for a minimal bid." Elias didn't hesitate. "I'll take it." A few minutes later, the deal was done. Elias had purchased the abandoned aggressive-class cruiser for a fraction of its real value. The crowd barely noticed. Some even laughed quietly at the human who had bought a broken, dangerous machine. The ship loomed before him as he approached the loading docks. Its size was staggering, stretching farther than any human ship Elias had ever seen. The hull was battered, paint peeled away, and strange dents hinted at battles fought long ago. The docking clamps rattled as they secured the cruiser, and Elias took a deep breath. He stepped onto the gangway. The moment his foot touched the metal, the ship shuddered slightly as if testing him. The doors hissed open, revealing a vast, dark corridor. The interior smelled of old machinery, oil, and something Elias could only describe as dormant power. "This is it," he whispered to himself. "This is what I came for." The corridor was lined with panels, wires, and dormant machinery. Holographic displays flickered weakly, their light dim but readable. Elias knelt, inspecting a control panel. The systems were ancient but still intact. He ran a diagnostic with a portable device. Lights blinked, warning signs flashed, and a low hum vibrated through the floor. The AI was partially active, but it was strange, different from any alien system he had ever seen. It didn't respond to standard commands. It almost seemed alive. Elias frowned. He tapped into the ship's core systems, carefully sending sequences of commands. The ship responded, slowly powering up sections of the engine room and control deck. Lights blinked on, illuminating massive consoles and complex machinery that no alien ship could replicate. He realized that this ship had been designed by humans long ago, before humanity had been pushed to the outer edges of the galaxy. "This is incredible," he murmured. "A piece of our past hidden here, waiting." Hours passed as Elias explored the ship. He moved through silent corridors, each step echoing through the vast halls. He found sleeping weapon systems, dormant engines, and storage bays filled with parts that still looked usable. The ship's AI observed him, and though it made no sound, Elias could feel it studying him, testing him. At one point, he entered the command deck. It was massive, with multiple holographic projectors and control panels that seemed to anticipate his movements. As he approached the captain's chair, a console flickered to life, displaying a warning: unauthorized human detected. Stand by for security protocol. Elias froze. The ship wasn't fully hostile yet, but it was wary. He raised his hands. I'm not a threat. I want to repair you. The console paused, then slowly displayed another message: repair authorized human only. Elias' heart leapt. The ship had recognized him as its rightful operator, or at least compatible. The old legends were true. Some of humanity's greatest machines had been designed to work only with humans, understanding their thought patterns, their intuition, their creativity. He spent the next hours repairing minor systems, rerouting power and clearing old warnings. Each repair was a small victory. Lights that had never shone in decades flickered to life. The ship hummed beneath his feet, almost content. He realized it wasn't just a machine, it was a living legacy of humanity's ingenuity. From the corridor, he could hear distant whispers of the auction hall. Other bidders had started to notice the ship's awakening. A few alien eyes widened in fear as the cruiser powered up sections of its engines. Word spread quickly. The abandoned aggressive-class cruiser was no longer dormant. Elias ignored them. He had work to do. In a hidden chamber, he found logs stored in a secure data core. Holographic projections filled the room, showing past battles, crew members, and strange missions that the ship had undertaken. The images told a story. The cruiser had been built to defend humanity from invaders, but the war had ended before it could prove itself. The ship had been abandoned, left to rust in the shadows of the galaxy. Elias studied the logs, feeling a deep connection to the past. He realized that this ship could change the galaxy's perception of humans. It wasn't just a weapon. It was proof that even a single human, with intelligence and courage, could command technology that no alien could fully understand. As night fell outside the auction hall, Elias returned to the command deck. The main viewport displayed a calm stretch of space, but Elias knew that danger could come at any moment. The galaxy was full of those who would stop at nothing to claim such a powerful ship. He placed his hands on the control panels, feeling the ship respond. The engines pulsed lightly, as if breathing. For the first time in decades, the cruiser was alive again. "This is just the beginning," Elias said quietly. "Together, we will show the galaxy what humans can do." A sudden alert flashed on the console. Unknown ships were approaching the sector. Aliens from distant systems had heard rumors of the abandoned cruiser and were moving to seize it. Elias didn't panic. He smiled. "Let them come," he said. "They'll see what a human can do." The ship systems activated further, responding to his command. Lights filled the corridors, engines roared softly, and defensive protocols hummed in readiness. The abandoned warship was no longer forgotten. It was waiting, alive, and ready to defend its new master. For Elias Vance, this was more than a job. This was destiny. A single human facing the galaxy, standing at the bridge of a machine built to awe even the most advanced civilizations. And the galaxy would soon remember the name of humanity once again. The first part of his journey was over, but the adventure, the challenges, and the proof of human ingenuity were only beginning. Elias Vance had spent the night aboard the abandoned aggressive-class cruiser, exploring its vast corridors, inspecting machinery, and repairing minor systems. By morning, the cruiser hummed with latent power, its engines pulsing softly beneath his feet. Every panel that lit up, every system that responded, reminded him that humans once built wonders far beyond what most alien civilizations could imagine. He knew the journey ahead would be far more difficult. Powering up a warship was one thing. Awakening a nearly forgotten machine that had been dormant for decades was another. Every system needed attention: propulsion, navigation, defense, communications, and the ship's own AI core. The task was enormous, but Elias had never been one to shy away from a challenge. He began with the engineering deck, the heart of the cruiser. The room was enormous, lined with energy conduits, reactors, and machinery that seemed almost alive. He knelt before the primary reactor, inspecting the power conduits. Dust and corrosion covered every surface, but the structure was intact. Elias ran a diagnostic, noting the ship's internal systems were fragmented, some offline for decades. "This is going to take time," he muttered, wiping his hands on a rag. "But we can do it together." The ship seemed to respond, a low hum reverberating through the floor. The AI core, partially awakened the night before, flickered softly. Its interface displayed fragmented code and unreadable glyphs, remnants of a time when humans had ruled certain star sectors. Elias could sense the intelligence within it, a dormant consciousness waiting for a mind capable of understanding its logic. He started carefully rerouting power to the navigation systems, bypassing corrupted files, and reconstructing missing protocols. The ship responded with soft vibrations, almost as if it recognized his intentions. Holographic panels flickered to life, showing star maps, old planetary systems, and long-forgotten coordinates. Elias smiled. The ship was learning to trust him. Hours turned into days. Elias worked tirelessly, surviving on minimal food and sleep. He repaired the weapon systems first, not because he intended to use them, but to understand the ship's full capability. Each system told a story: weapons designed for defense, precision, and adaptability, far beyond anything contemporary alien fleets possessed. During a repair of the main turret arrays, Elias discovered holographic logs stored in encrypted cores. He activated them, and images of human engineers and pilots from centuries past flickered to life. The logs told a story of a human fleet designed to defend against a mysterious alien invasion that never arrived. The cruiser had been abandoned, left to rust in a forgotten sector while the galaxy moved on. This is incredible," Elias whispered. "A piece of humanity's true legacy." The ship's AI observed silently as he worked. Occasionally, it would activate systems seemingly at random, almost testing him. Doors would open, lights would pulse, and defensive protocols would initiate briefly before shutting down. Elias realized that the cruiser was alive in its own way. It had instincts, programming designed to detect threats and respond quickly. But it had also been waiting for a human, someone it could trust to guide it. One morning, while inspecting the engine core, Elias noticed an unusual reading. The ship's propulsion systems were partially functional, but the faster-than-light drive had been sealed off decades ago, its coordinates erased from memory. If he could restore it, the ship would not only be operational, it would be unstoppable. He spent hours decoding ancient human engineering scripts, cross-referencing them with fragments of modern knowledge. Sweat ran down his face as circuits sparked and systems hummed. He carefully bypassed safety locks, using only his intuition and knowledge of human design. Slowly, the FTL drive began to hum. The ship pulsed with energy, almost eager to move again. Elias took a moment to breathe. He had revived the core systems. The cruiser was no longer dormant. It was awake, alert, and learning from him. But the galaxy did not stay silent. Word of the abandoned cruiser's revival spread through the auction network. Alien collectors, mercenaries, and opportunistic warlords began moving toward the sector, drawn by rumors of a human who had awakened a lost warship. They underestimated Elias, assuming he was just a lucky human with no real skill. They were wrong. From the command deck, Elias watched the stars as alien scouts began appearing on the ship's sensors. A small fleet approached, sleek, dangerous, and equipped with the latest alien technology. But the cruiser had an advantage they did not expect: human ingenuity paired with centuries-old human engineering. Elias began testing the ship's response protocols. He ran simulations of evasive maneuvers, weapon targeting, and defensive formations. The cruiser reacted instantly, recalculating trajectories, energy outputs, and firing sequences in ways that no alien AI could anticipate. Every system Elias repaired, every decision he made the ship smarter, faster, more precise. He realized something incredible. The cruiser did not just rely on raw power, it relied on human creativity. It responded to intuition, improvisation, and adaptability. Unlike alien fleets that depended on rigid programming, this ship could learn from him in real time, evolving with every command. Late one evening, Elias discovered a secret chamber deep within the ship. It was a room he had never seen before, sealed behind layers of protective coating. Inside, he found detailed plans for the ship's most advanced weapon systems, ones designed never to fail in the hands of a human operator. The ship had been built not to conquer, but to protect humanity from an unimaginable threat. Elias felt a surge of pride. Humans had created something magnificent, a weapon that was both intelligent and intuitive, capable of defending entire star systems. And now it was his to awaken, guide, and command. As he continued his work, the alien fleet grew closer. Sensors picked up multiple classes of ships, each moving with purpose. Elias did not panic. He had repaired enough systems to test the ship's defensive capabilities. He activated the shield arrays, watching as a field of energy formed around the cruiser. He ran propulsion tests, and the engines hummed, ready to accelerate beyond conventional limits. Weapons systems powered up, scanning for targets automatically. The ship was no longer just a relic. It was a living fortress, responsive to him and him alone. But Elias knew the real test would come soon. He had to teach the ship to move, think, and act in combat. Alien fleets were not patient. They would strike the moment they sensed vulnerability. Every second counted. He spent another long night running simulations, testing evasive maneuvers, and experimenting with unconventional strategies. The ship adapted quickly, surprising even Elias with its precision and speed. Each success reinforced a simple truth: humans, even one human, could outthink entire fleets of alien empires. By morning, Elias was exhausted but exhilarated. The cruiser, once abandoned and forgotten, was now fully operational in its defensive systems. Engines, weapons, shields, and AI were all responsive. The ship pulsed with power, waiting for the next challenge. Elias moved to the command deck and activated the main viewport. The stars stretched endlessly before him, but he could see the alien fleet approaching in the distance. Sleek, advanced, and dangerous, they assumed they would find a vulnerable relic. They were wrong. "This is it," Elias said quietly. "The galaxy is about to see what humans are really capable of." The ship seemed to respond, lights pulsing in sync with his heartbeat. Its AI, now fully awake, displayed a simple message: "Human, ready for command." Elias smiled. "Let us show them." For the first time in decades, the abandoned aggressive-class cruiser was ready to defend itself, its new master, and the legacy of humanity. And Elias knew this was only the beginning. The challenges ahead would test his skill, courage, and ingenuity. But humans had never been ones to back down. The alien fleet would soon learn that one human, armed with a machine built for greatness, could change the outcome of battles the galaxy thought were already decided. Elias took a deep breath, his hand on the control console. Every system was ready, every weapon calibrated, every shield operational. The cruiser thrummed beneath him, alive, waiting, and completely loyal to him. And together, they would face whatever the galaxy threw at them. The stars stretched endlessly before Elias Vance as he sat in the command chair of the fully awakened aggressive-class cruiser. The ship hummed beneath him, alive and aware, every system ready to follow his commands. The alien fleet had arrived, sleek and imposing, their vessels moving with lethal precision. They believed they were superior, that one human with a forgotten ship could never match their skill or technology. They were wrong. Elia's eyes scanned the sensor panels. He could see multiple alien ships, each equipped with advanced weapons and shields designed to overpower any opponent. But the cruiser was different. Its systems were intuitive, designed to respond to a human mind. It could anticipate attacks, calculate risks, and adapt faster than any alien AI could. "Let's begin," Elia said quietly, placing his hands on the controls. The cruiser responded instantly, lights flickering as energy coursed through engines and shields. Weapon systems activated, scanning the approaching fleet. The ship was alive, ready to act on instinct guided by Elia's commands. He felt a surge of pride. Humans may have been overlooked in the galaxy, but they were clever, creative, and capable of thinking in ways no alien could predict. The first alien ship fired, a volley of energy blasts designed to test the cruiser. Elias moved his hand subtly, and the ship responded as if it could read his thoughts. Shields shifted, engines adjusted, and the blast struck harmlessly against the reinforced hull. The cruiser glided effortlessly, its movements fluid and precise. The alien fleet was momentarily stunned. Their AI-controlled ships were fast but predictable. Elias smiled. This was exactly the advantage he needed. He began to maneuver the cruiser in ways no alien fleet had ever anticipated, twisting, dodging, and weaving through the void with a combination of human intuition and the ship's raw power. The aliens regrouped and launched a coordinated attack. Multiple energy streams crossed the battlefield, aiming to overwhelm the cruiser. Elias analyzed their patterns. Alien AI relied on repetition, predictable strategies. Humans, however, could improvise. He directed the ship to fire its plasma turrets in unpredictable arcs, striking enemy vessels at weak points. Explosions lit up the void, each one a testament to human ingenuity. One by one, alien ships were forced to retreat or were neutralized entirely. Elias felt a thrill. The cruiser was more than a weapon. It was a partner, thinking and acting as an extension of his mind. He realized that humans didn't need massive fleets to survive. Their creativity and adaptability could outmatch brute force. In the midst of the battle, a larger alien command ship appeared. Its size was immense, and its weapons far more powerful than any Elias had faced so far. But the cruiser was ready. Using the ship's sensors and his own instincts, Elias calculated a daring approach. He maneuvered the cruiser into an unexpected trajectory, using the command ship's momentum against it. With precise timing, the cruiser fired its most advanced weapons, disabling the enemy vessel without destroying it. The aliens were shocked. Their best ship was neutralized and their fleet was in disarray. Elias realized that victory didn't have to come from destruction. It could come from strategy, precision, and human ingenuity. He had proven something important. Humans were more than just survivors. They were innovators, capable of turning even an abandoned relic into the galaxy's most formidable weapon. As the last of the alien fleet retreated, Elias allowed himself a moment of reflection. The cruiser hummed gently beneath him, its systems slowly powering down from battle readiness. He felt a connection with the machine, a bond forged through effort, understanding, and trust. The ship had recognized him as its master, and he had guided it to victory. But the battle was only the beginning. Elias knew the galaxy would take notice of what had just happened. Humans, long overlooked and underestimated, had shown they could match and even surpass alien technology. The abandoned aggressive-class cruiser, once forgotten and feared, had become a symbol of human potential. Elias activated the ship's communication array, sending a message to nearby human colonies. This is Elias Vance aboard the aggressive class cruiser. Humans are not weak. We are capable, we are alive, and we will defend ourselves and our legacy. The response was immediate. Across multiple systems, humans cheered, inspired by the message. For the first time in decades, hope returned. Humanity's place in the galaxy was no longer uncertain. A single human, armed with skill, courage, and ingenuity, had proven their worth. Elias continued to explore the cruiser, examining systems that had remained untouched. Each discovery reminded him of the brilliance of human engineering. There were storage bays filled with dormant drones, advanced propulsion units, and experimental energy cores. Each piece was a potential asset, waiting for a human mind to unlock its potential. He realized that the cruiser could be more than just a weapon. It could be a platform for exploration, a beacon of human innovation, and a tool to inspire others. Humans could show the galaxy that they were capable of more than survival. They could shape the future, create marvels, and protect their legacy. Days passed as Elias continued to repair, test, and understand the ship. He developed new strategies, trained the cruiser to respond to increasingly complex maneuvers, and refined the weapon systems. The ship adapted, becoming faster, smarter, and more precise. Together, they became an unstoppable force. Word of the cruiser spread quickly. Alien civilizations, once dismissive of humans, now regarded them with caution and respect. The abandoned warship, revived by a single human, had shifted the balance of perception in the galaxy. Humans were no longer just observers. They were innovators, fighters, and leaders. Elias looked out through the cruiser's main viewport, watching stars streak past as he plotted a course for the next system. The galaxy was vast, full of opportunities, dangers, and challenges. But he felt ready. With the ship at his side, guided by his ingenuity, humans could face anything. He smiled, remembering the moment he first set foot aboard the derelict ship at the auction. What others had seen as danger, he had seen as opportunity. What had been abandoned and feared, he had awakened and mastered. The galaxy had underestimated humanity for too long, and now it would see what one human, paired with human engineering, could achieve. Elias knew this was just the beginning. The cruiser, a living testament to human brilliance, would explore unknown sectors, face new threats, and protect human colonies. Every system they visited, every challenge they met, would further prove that humans were not just survivors. They were innovators, pioneers, and masters of their destiny. The alien fleets might return, new threats might emerge, but Elias was ready. With human ingenuity, courage, and the powerful cruiser, there was nothing they could not overcome. Humanity had reclaimed its place in the galaxy, one bold step, one brilliant repair, and one fearless human at a time. The cruiser thrummed softly, as if in agreement. Elias placed his hands on the controls and smiled. Together, they would explore the stars, defend humanity, and prove to the galaxy that humans were capable of greatness beyond imagination. And so, with the abandoned aggressive class cruiser fully awakened and a human at its helm, the galaxy began to change. One human, one ship, one act of ingenuity, and the universe would never underestimate humanity again.